Hey everybody, welcome into the Fallout Shelter. Hope everyone's having a great day. I'd come on twice on YouTube in one day, but I had something I thought I'd go over here because I've been over it quite a few times on DLive. Oh my goodness gracious, sorry about that everybody. Thing in the background going crazy. I'll take care of that. Anyway, and just jump right into it. I will get to the screens that I have, and then I will share them. All right, here we go. I'm not screen sharing. There we go, screen sharing. All right. Now, in the description of the video, I have the links to this website, which is a Burgerwell homepage. We are committed to inform about the health problems caused by electromagnetic radiation. And you can read more about them here. I have all of these links set up. The reason I posted this is because I have a download link. If you go to my video pages, I have it linked and listed over there. You find this video, the mind control and the Russian law. Hey Michelle, then how you doing? Good to see you. Mind control and the Russian law. There is a link in it. Oh, it's probably going to try to play. Hold up. Stop. There's a link here. Right here. This is a download link. I'm going to show you what that link is right here, right now. Because I can't remember how to get that link posted anywhere else. It's just, I'm not really good with this tech stuff, so I have to do it the only way I can figure out how. Let's see. So let's pull this back up. First of all, let me show you this. The Criminal Code of the Russian Federation. Get down here to 221. That's what's important to us right now. Article 221 is stealing or possession of nuclear materials or radioactive substances. Nuclear materials or radioactive substances. Okay. Whoa, sorry about that. Like I said, I'm not good with this tech stuff. You can go through here and read all this if you want to. I'm just showing you this to back up what I'm fixing to show you. These are just some of the Russian criminal codes that you can go check out. The reason I checked out 221 is because I have this here. Let me see if I can get it where I can read it a little bit better. Can I blow it up just a touch, maybe? View. Boy, y'all can tell I don't know what I'm doing, can't you? Zoom. Fit, width, and height. Okay. No, that is not what I wanted to do. I was not prepared for this. I was just going to try to read it like it was, huh? Let's just try 200%. That's too much. Zoom 100%. I'll read it right here. How about that? Okay. Article 221. Appliance of forbidden for circulation electromagnetic, infrasound, ultrasound, and other kinds of radiators intent to cause harm. Appliance of forbidden for circulation electromagnetic, infrasound, ultrasound, and other kinds of radiators intent to cause harm shall be punished by imprisonment for a period of 3 to 5 years. This is the these are the penalties for possessing these type of weapons in Russia. If you possess a weapon that is capable of electromagnetic, infrasound, ultrasound, and other kinds of radiators intent to cause harm. Hey, South Florida DCL, good to see you. Glad you're here. If you possess those in Russia, you have a certain period of 5 to 15 years in prison. Illegal use of forbidden for circulation radiators or carriers. Let's see, illegal acquisition, keeping, transportation, bearing, sale, handover, or forbidden for circulation electromagnetic, infrasound, ultrasound, and other kinds of radiators shall be punished. Blah, blah, blah. You get the point here. This is their law. This is their punishment. Now, what's so unique about the Russian law, after it's signed by Vladimir Putin or signed off on, they give explanatory notes. They give us details and reasons and things that about this, and I guess they do in America too. You just really have to dig for it and try to find it in the wherever after it's been declassified. But I'm going to read a good bit of this, and it's just going to be a read. But I want you to pay attention. I'm going to skip some of the names because, quite frankly, I'd butcher them anyway. And I'm not going to skip all these numbers. I'm just going to get to the important part of what's going on here. The reason I asked, are you targeted, is because I want to show you right here what Russia has to say about psychotronic influence. The development of the scientific technical progress goes at an ever-increasing pace, remarkably outstripping the legislation in force. The processes in our society following this development quite often end up with negative consequences, because a single scientific invention in the area of secret remote control or destruction of human material leads to the principally new kind of crime without a legal stipulation. Currently, it is additionally complicated by the existing lack of legal control and helplessness of the authorities. The existing legal rules of the Constitution of the Russian Federation are declarative and only on the paper to find in reality they do function. They do not function. It is necessary to bear in mind that a plain person is very bad really protected from the arbitrary rule of civil servants and criminals, and in this day and age is left by the state to his fate. In the catalog of armament items being in arsenal, there is no item that is called psi weapon, the weapon of psychotronic influence. This equipment is a part of systems of hardware devices created to observe a human as a biological object under everyday living conditions. In the most of cases, these researches and developments are being secretly held with the appliance of different kinds and sorts of innovations influencing mentality of a human being and which are capable to bring him to a tragic result. This is from the Russian Federation law. This is not, well, you get the point. Sometimes I'm not the greatest with words, but I understand what the words in this document mean. The most of Russian scientists have taken part in the process of creation of effective methods of influence on a human at a distance. All these scientists, at the beginning of the 90s, under the control of the Central Committee of the Communist Party of the Soviet Union and responsibility of KGB by the Council of Ministers of the USSR, have worked dozens of organizations which were involved in the researching and developing of radiators of electromagnetic, infrasound, and ultrasound influence on human mind and organism, and were specialized on the mass production of such devices. Along with the KGB of the USSR, several departments at the same time were engaged in the experiments on transforming humans into bio-robots. You know, I wish this was a science fiction document, but it is not. In the result of it, not a few people were crippled and murdered. Under the psychotronic influence is understood intended impact on human being by means of electromagnetic fields and acoustic, infrasound, ultrasound waves. Such an impact causes changes in behavior and brain functioning, as well as in the reactions on proceedings and situations, and leads to the disorder in the work of functional systems of a body and changes in tissue cells. Targeted individuals all deal with every one of these items. It is regarded that the methodology of stimulating a human being with radiotechnical devices is based on the discovery of our compatriot A. Mikhailovsky. In the mid-30s, he found out that some combinations of electromagnetic impulses repeated with a definite frequency stimulate some points of brain responsible for both mood and functioning of human organs. Oh man. Mikulowski's invention was at once used to suppress human will. Moreover, later than made possible to make people unconditionally obedient, blindly carrying on orders coming from strangers. Depending on a signal generated by psychotronic generators, they could be, that's a television, I bet. They could be divided into infrasound generators, UHF, where you heard that before, ultra high frequency, SHF, super high frequency generators. UHF, SHF generators with a modulated signal of low frequency and ultrasound and Roentgen radiators. To this group could also be put gyrodynamic phenomena, torsional radiation of twisted polarization, and leptonic radiators. Sideline electromagnetic fields stimulate an aura of a human being, causing changes of mood and mental abilities. Aura of a human being is heterogenic and is composed of radiations of his different organs. Wave characteristics of each organ have been long ago described by scientists and are well known. Resonant frequencies of some part of the human body are as follows. The head is 20 to 30 hertz, the eyes are 40 to 100, the vestibular apparatus is 0.5 to 13, the heart is 4 to 6, spinal column 4 to 6, stomach 2 to 3, intestines 2 to 4, kidney 6 to 8, and hands 2 to 5. It is possible to correct the working of organs with a therapeutic aim. Sound, radiation, things we all believe that that's a way to actually be able to heal. But like I keep telling everybody, if they can read your mind, they can print to your mind. If they can do one thing, they can do it the other. It's always two ways. At least this document says it. But to some extent adjusted, it will be no problem to achieve the opposing result. What's the opposing result? To not be a therapeutic aim. You have a therapeutic aim and an untherapeutic aim, which is harm and damage, in such a way that it won't be viewed by the people around. It is the heart attack weapon, the stroke weapon, the brain weapon, the targeting weapons. In the result of UHF radiation-induced injury, a person gets diseases which are very difficult to treat. For example, cancer cells will be unavoidably activated, and then a person will be sick with incurable cancer. Irradiating of the vital organs, one can definitely disable them, and at a certain moment, a patient departs this life. It is well known that human brain is very vulnerable to the heat and increase of temperature. If even just for a short time, irradiated with ultra high frequencies, the temperature of the brain increases, and that will cause a distortion in the functioning of the whole organism. If UHF radiation power significantly increases, the temperatures of the human brain will considerably increase, and a lethal result is not avoidable. Moreover, this radiation goes through different kinds of obstacles. If biocurrents of a human organism in the range of 1 to 35 hertz are irradiated with super high frequency, a person will get the following symptoms. Listen to these symptoms. How many people do we know suffering with these symptoms? Broken perception of reality, hyposthenia and hypersthenia, excitement or apathy, fatigue, weakness of the body, nausea and headache, possibly the sterilization of instinct area, damages of heart beginning from arrhythmia to the heart failure, and damages of brain and neural axis. There are also additional symptoms as smarting eyes, earache as by air pressure difference, numbed hands, buzz in the head, twitching legs, and burning feet syndrome. I deal with quite a few of those. Oh man. Waves actively modulated in the range of alpha rhythm frequency of the brain can cause irreversible behavior deviations. Appliance of SHF generator with certain frequencies enables to suppress the consciousness of many people and makes possible to implant certain behavior or moreover strange ideas. Powerful SHF radiation can switch off all unconditioned reflexes and make a human completely helpless. The harm will 5G, y'all, 5G. The harm will sharply increase if add the distortion of brain, heart, and neural axis functioning. The scope of SHF technology's implementation, especially by the creation of weapon of mass destruction, depends on the availability of high-powered SHF generators. The academician Avramenko was engaged in the research on military application of SHF generators. Extreme high-frequency radiation extremely influences human neural axis, brain, and other organs. To the same extent, it influences the human mind. In other words, this is evidence for human mind control. Waves actively modulated in the range of alpha rhythm frequency of the brain can cause irreversible behavior deviations. Symptomology of the whole is similar to that of the SHF irradiation-induced damage. Elaboration and production of generation of microwave oscillations enable a creation of weapon that promises well. Low doses of microwave radiation are used for therapeutic goals by medical personnel. High doses of microwave radiation damages both people and equipment. The microwave radiation generators with power content to hundreds of MWs have been already created. Microwave radiation is very harmful for a human being. Under usual conditions, our organism produces about 100 watts of heat. I think that's what that means. It is regarded to be harmful for a living organism if the consumed power from outside is higher as the own heat production. Anyway, mind control, possible through all of this scientific jargon. And it gets on down here into torsional radiation. Because of its appliance, can induce any disease, calm down unwished excitement, decrease and increase psychological activity, strengthen different wishes, implant unto the subconscious of the object in question a necessary program. This is MK Ultra programming from Russia, them telling how to do it. I don't know that I've ever read every word of this document. I've been through it quite a few times, and sometimes it just gets rough on the eyes. If any of y'all out there are really smart and really good at going through documents, this is one to do it. Now check this out. Especially good results in the area of psychotronic technologies have been obtained by means of stimulating the subconscious of population, the so-called zombieing. Mass condition and zombieing of population had begun in the USSR in the 80s. That's when they started letting the heavy metal bands go over to Russia too. At the beginning there was some, or maybe that was Germany. Maybe it was both, I don't know. The stimulation had achieved such intensity that people had claimed to feel something weird. How many of us have been claiming to feel something weird? How many of us have been going, y'all know what? Something feels weird in the atmosphere. It just don't seem right. And then I know some people who are going through some really weird stuff right now. It's just not normal. It's unreal. Housing estates where radiators were installed were characterized by high percentages of cancer disease, suicides, and high birth rate of handicapped children. Research work in this sphere were considerably intensified after a bifold of human being was found. Hey, Big Bear, good to see you, man. Research works, Lepton. Now, I've done some more research, and it starts to get way out of my understanding. But it's always the same. If we take into account that a human being becomes and transmits information at the 9 to 16 micrometer long waves, oh my gosh. I don't know how big the micrometer waves are for 5G. I need to find that out though, don't I? Because millimeter waves to micrometer waves, you got to figure all that out. A human being becomes and transmits information at the 9 to 16 micrometer long waves, and if the power of such devices is increased, the distance of damaging of a human being will increase correspondingly. Oh my gosh. Electromagnetic stimulation in acute form is characterized by osteoneurotism, disorder of cardiovascular system functioning, which is manifested through harsh weakness, heavy headache, nausea, changes of arterial pressure, angiospasm, prolonged and systematic stimulations of a human being with electromagnetic fields of different frequencies with the intensity outstripping the permissible doses, induces functional changes in the organism, emergence of cancer cells, system damages of blood vascular system activities and brain functions, headache, injury. Oh my gosh. Injury of sense of hearing, eyesight, deviations in neural axis are manifested through headache, insomnia, excessive fatigue. Excuse me. Y'all know I could talk fine right before I started talking about this. But I just feel like this is information that needs to be out there. It's funny, I've got it to maybe 30 people so far. So I decided I'd come on here and try it again. And I may just start pounding this one into the ground. People need to see this. Whew, I can't hardly read it. Prolonged and systematic stimulation of a human being with electromagnetic fields. Okay, I read all that. Taking into account a great role of cerebral cortex and hypothalamus in implementing of technical functions in a human being, we can expect that a prolonged stimulation with permissible doses of radiation can induce physical disorders, including the changes of conditional reflex activity, behavioral reactions, conditions of short-term and long-term memory, changes of bioelectrical activity of different brain structures. Namely, low frequencies correspond to brain rhythms. Modulated electromagnetic fields can selectively suppress or intensify biorhythms of brain biocurrents of other frequency. By prolonged stimulation with electromagnetic oscillation appear constricting pains in heart area. Sense of sand in eyes, loss of hair, nails, fragility, gingival bleeding, weight reducing. From time to time, a person feels his extremities benumbed, losing the sensibility, or getting cold. I have every one of those, just about it. I haven't had a loss of hair. My nails are getting more fragile. My teeth have fell apart. Some of that can be blamed when I was taking the freaking gabapentin for this particular thing right here. A powerful charged beam of particles, electrons, protons, ions, or a beam of neutral atoms could be used as weapon. Does that mean CERN is a big weapon? A destructive element in this case is a beam of charged particles which actively interact with molecules of air, ionize them, and warm up. While widening, the density of warmed air decreases, and that enables charged particles to spread further. A train of short pulses is capable to form a particular channel in the air. Charged particles will spread through this channel almost without any impediment. I'm scanning through right now. It's of course, just from what I've read, we understand how big of a deal this is for a military. Appliance of infrasound radiators with frequency resonant to oscillations of internal organs of a human causes heavy headaches, dangerous to go blind. I'm going blind. Lethal result is also possible. Infrasound radiations go through thick walls and large distances. During some special tests at high developed biological objects, it was found that by such an intensity of infrasound, the object tries to leave the impact zone. When irradiation intensity was intensified, the devices measured sharp acceleration of heartbeat. The object started to rush about. Then the amplitude of heart oscillations increased sharply, and blood vessels could not stand up and blew out. Oh my gosh. This is horrible. Infrasound oscillation. Right modulated signals, even of low intensity, induce nausea and singing in the ears. I wonder if that should be ringing in the ears. As well as deterioration of eyesight and an uprush of fear. Okay, I don't get an uprush of fear, and I don't know if... Hey man, this isn't just a crazy article, Big Bear. This is the scientific notes to the Russian Federation law under nuclear material, Article 221.1. This is actual Russian documentation from their law. This is their scientists that wrote all of this when they made it illegal for citizens to possess anything like this. Infrasound oscillation, I deal with that. My ears change from time to time. Oscillations of middle intensity could be researched for upset of digestive tract, disorder of brain functions, with unexpected consequences, paralysis, general weakness, and sometimes blindness. Infrasound of high intensity inducing resonance results in damaging of all internal organs. The fatal is also possible through cardiac standstill or deterioration of blood vessels. And for those of you, I'm just going to kind of go back over it. Up at the beginning of this, when I started into it, it goes over what I was telling y'all. I don't know where I'm at. I don't want to. Let's see, page 6 of 15. I'm going to run up here to the top real quick for those of y'all that missed it. Right here, Article 221. Appliance of forbidden for circulation, electromagnetic, infrasound, ultrasound, and other kinds of radiators intent to cause harm, period of 3 to 5 years. And then it goes on and talks about the use of them, the traveling of them, the crossing the country with them, the blah, blah, blah. And I also, just to back it up, I found this at this website, but I cannot find the freaking link. The link that is linked is here at my original YouTube video, and it is a download link for that document. I've had it downloaded and had no problem. Now, I also went and checked here, just making sure that it was backed up by anything. Article 221 is stealing or possession of nuclear materials or radioactive substances. Radio waves in Russia are nuclear materials or radioactive substances. And just in case y'all missed, and the link is in the description. You can get to my original YouTube video on it right here. The link for that document is this one right here. And when it comes up, it'll ask you if you want to save it or open it. I have it opened or saved. This is the website in which I found it. I've done a lot of stuff from this website. I've had no problems with it. This link is where I just backed up the Russian law, was checking them out. And then right here, in case you missed my stream earlier, development of highly sensitive diode converts microwaves to electricity. So now they can grab that microwave right out of the air and turn it into a usable form of energy. All right, now back to the document. I have it opened up in Word right now, and that's how you can get to it. And I wish there was an easier way for me to do that. But then again, it also lets me promote one of my old videos, because I think 31 people saw this originally. Back down to page 6. Oh, let me show y'all this, the ones of y'all that missed it real quick. When it starts, it tells you that in the catalog of armament items being an arsenal, there is no item that is called psi weapon, the weapon of psychotronic influence. This equipment is part of systems of hardware devices created to observe a human as a biological object under everyday living conditions. In the most of cases, these research and developments are being secretly held with the appliance of different kinds and sorts of innovations influencing mentality of a human being, and which are capable to bring him to a tragic result. Yeah, I would really love for some people out there that are way more intelligent than I am to go through this. Okay, this is back where we were. Many of the vital human organs are like biological oscillation outlines and resonators. They have their own oscillation frequency within 1 to 100 hertz. It's mind control and the Russian law. There's a link in this live stream to it. The Russian law and mind control, or mind control and the Russian law, something like that. Many of the vital, using of infrasound waves at frequencies measured in hertz unit, as more than once reported in mass media, makes real the creation of a weapon injuring mind and organism of a human being, wrote in his article, Academian A.V. Fokin. He demands to ban the elaboration and production of new kinds of weapons of mass destruction. If we take into account the ability of infrasound to go through a brick, concrete, and armor, then it is logically to create a weapon effective alone against humans because of its appeal of the scientist seems to be well timed. You know, I don't guess it really matters if you have a gun anymore, does it? Those days are well beyond us, and if you can't figure out how to turn your microwave into something that'll shoot an electromagnetic pulse at somebody, you might be in trouble. I'm going to help y'all out right here real quickly. I know how to pull this one off, I do believe. Since I do have it right here, I'm going to Mind Control and the Russian Law. I'm going to copy the link, and I'm going to paste it in chat. How about that one? I did something good. All right. That's the way I do it over at DLive all the time, so it kind of worked out good here. Okay. Other scientists do not see the use of frequencies capable to exert resonance or infrasound oscillations at internal organs, inducing anxiety and fear and deteriorating vascular parietes as psychologically legitimate. The effect of the trumpet of Jericho is harmful biological influence and cannot save health for a human. Huh. Among existing methods of removal. Wow. Yeah. We will, man, another thing we need to make sure we pray for when I end these streams is that we don't only pray for protection, that we pray for the protection from all of this stuff that's going on right here. Hey there, AM. Good to see you. Glad you made it. Among existing methods of removal, intended car crashes, supposed suicides, poisoning, arranged industrial injuries, psychological provocations, one has obvious advantage, namely irradiation at flats. That is a secret and nearly improvable method. The individuals are literally smoked out with the help of technical means. The source of irradiation can be situated at neighboring rooms of multifamily unit, at the upper floors, or at opposite buildings. Allegedly, the employees of the Repair and Operating Agency for the Department of Upkeep of Buildings occupy the neighboring premises. The upper floors are rented by KGB, Federal Security Service of Russia. By agreement with dwellers, they leave for a long time. In this case, it is very difficult to intrude such flats because the individuals housing there have not got residence registration and openly. Wow. I lost my place. Pay only for militiamen. Victims of these actions complain of feeling bad, somatic and neural upset, headaches, hypertony, insomnia, or in reverse, diving in unnatural sleep, painful sensations, knife-type colics in the area of kidneys, liver, and heart. After night sleep, there are bleeding defects, 1 to 2 millimeter in diameter, burn spots of different sizes, cuts and scratches. Cuts occur as well at day. Sometimes they appear on face, shoulders, legs. Occasionally they are difficult to cure. Oh my gosh, all of this can be done by ultrasound, infrasound. I'm glad I went through more of this document than I planned on. I usually just go through the first couple of paragraphs, and I'd planned on calling it quits for a while. Produced electromagnetic and acoustic fields influence operating of household appliances. And we understand all of that. I mean, we get that. Acoustic blows make the doors open and things fall. Oh! They're making people think they're crazy by opening doors and stuff with sound. Oh my gosh. This is their MK Ultra freaking playbook. Really? And you know if it's the Russian playbook, it's the United States playbook as well. In the result of irradiation, following symptoms appear: blows into muscles, twitching legs, toes, itchiness, burning feet syndrome, earache, numbed hands at night, and burning spots on the surface of the body. All these painful sensations pass off by deviation to the side from the source of irradiation. The above-mentioned information has been approved by enlightened intelligence services of foreign countries or by deserted staff of special services in the USSR and Russia. The GRU, Main Intelligence Directorate of the Russian General Staff and Foreign Intelligence Service. Y'all, I know people who deal with some of the... Hey, Carolyn, glad you're here. I know some people who deal with some of these things. I know some people who deal with a lot of these things. And they never would believe it, even if I handed them this document. Man. By the interpretation, the concept of the weapons of mass destruction, we have to draw on the definition given by the UNO in 1948 as weapon, which should be defined in such a way in order to include weapon acting with atom explosions, with radioactive materials, lethal chemical weapons, or biological weapon, or any elaborated in the future weapon, which abilities could be compared with those of atomic or other mentioned weapons. We have to agree with the authors of the course of international law who consider any kinds of weapon based on qualitatively new principles of action, both by the method of appliance and character of impact. Hey there, Miss Polly. I'm glad you're here. Good to see you. Here we consider weapons of ray injury for the influence on a human organism. Infrasound weapon for the injury of internal organs of a human being. Genetic weapons for the deterioration of hereditation mechanism. Ethnic weapons, special chemical, biological, and other means for detection and selective inquiry of representatives of certain population groups. Psychotronic weapons for influence on the mind of a human being for the purpose of solving military tasks. Geophysical weapon, using of artificial change of the environment. That is a word I need to type out and save and put somewhere. I wonder if I can copy that. Put that somewhere else. For the injury of a human being who is laid, situated, undercover, in the building, bomb shelter, underground bunker, and for other purposes, ultrasound weapon for the injury of neural system and other vital systems of a human. Hey, Brian, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Glad you're here. The authors of this manual on the criminal law of the Russian Federation point the lack of universal regulations that set up direct prohibition of the so-called new kinds of weaponry of mass destruction, radiological, infrasound, and beams. Currently, to the weaponry of mass destruction in accordance with international legal acts count chemical, biological, which production is absolutely forbidden, and nuclear weapon, which use is also forbidden and production is limited. International legal acts do not cover electromagnetic, infrasound, ultrasound, and other kinds of radiators, which are capable to act as weaponry of mass destruction. This fact is a significant gap. Accordingly, they are not covered by the Articles 355 and 356 of the Criminal Code because they are not prohibited by the International Agreement of the Russian Federation. I'm going to post the YouTube video that this was linked to. I cannot figure out how. This is a download link. I got it on that video months ago, and I can't figure out how to just get the link back. So I just reposted that video in the description. If you'll go to that video and click on that, and if somebody is smarter than me, knows how to link this in Discord, please do so. I've even thought about printing it, scanning it into a different type of file, and trying to upload it in a different manner. Oh. And I'm still, this is a 16, 15-page document. It has got a ton of stuff in it. I'm just trying to scan through. Okay. The director of the Inter-Industry Scientific and Technical Center, Vaughn, the doctor of physical and mathematical sciences, A.J. Akimov, invented a spin torsional generator that irradiates bell-mouthed rays of reversion, which are capable to lock the device's homing guidance system up to and including. In the result of such influence, not only equipment turns off, but also human mind and body. A.J. Akimov approved that for the experiment works, a production run of torsional generators of works made samples has been settled. So with a torsional generator, they can shut you down. Is 5G Tower a torsional generator? I wish I was smart enough to know all this and look it up. I'm trying to put the pieces of the puzzles together, people. I know what they're telling you is they can fry you with radio waves, ultra high frequency, super high frequency, blah, blah, blah. It's all about frequency, 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 frequency. And the more I read on this, the more I lose my voice. How is that crazy? Oh, wow. An excellent generator for the struggle against termites, created Professor somebody. Irradiation of this device kills insects through paralyzing their neural centers. What's happening to the bees? An excellent generator for the struggle against termites. Well, a termite's an insect. We already do. Insects are insects. Irradiation of this device kills insects through paralyzing their neural centers. What do we keep doing? We keep adding microwave beams in the air. Why are we adding all these microwave beams in the air? It might be because we figured out how to turn them into electricity. Development of highly sensitive diode converts microwaves to electricity. Nobody ever gets to see this. Nobody ever gets to read this. I feel like I'm the only crazy man out here in the... Uh-oh, my telephone did not get shut on the silent. I'm so sorry, people. I feel like I'm the only one out here that's paying attention to these type of things. Anyway, what it says is they've developed a way to capture the ambient radio waves, low power microwaves, with their little antenna here. They had this kind of reverse rectifying diode. I'm not sure how that works. But then they're able to power this little sensor right here with it, which means they can power all of the nanotechnology and the smart dust and everything. Now keep this in mind, they're building stuff that self-replicates nanotechnology. It will self-power, self-replicate nanotechnology. It will not need power. It will need radio waves. Why do they don't care about it. They can take care of us with the radio waves. They can run everything else with the radio waves. The secrets to life. I'm still drinking that plastic, Brian. Yeah, I am. I'm getting my daily dose of micros. Yeah, it's definitely affecting the animals. Absolutely, Ann. I mean, it's affecting everything. Look, but it all works together. With all of this going on, and using these type of microwaves and psychotronics, once they fill the air with all of the heavy metal nanoparticulates, it allows these weaponry microwaves to work better. It allows the next rad microwaves that are affecting the weather to work better. As much metal as they can get in the air, it allows their microwaves to work better. And I'm not so sure some of that stuff that they're using now is not actually being used as a fuel source as it hangs in the air through some type of fusion or nuclear, whatever they're not talking to us about. The more I get to reading about the ITER project, which any of y'all who know anything about the ITER project, good news. They got one of the rings complete, one of the magnetic rings. And yeah, the military active denial system. It runs right up there around the 90-something gigahertz range. Oh man, I don't have my other computer with me right now. I have a product data sheet for the transmitters that are actually up on these 5G towers. And even though they tell you that 5G is something that can run up to 100 gigahertz, the devices that are in those little plastic boxes, number one, the plastic box has been patented, so it only lets signals out. It don't let them in. The dishes catch the signals in and they're transmitted out of that box. EMP proof. But that little transmitter can transmit up to 300 gigahertz for the military ranges. And some of that's already being used and we just don't even know it. The state scientific production was the chief of the dependent Boris Teslavsky elaborated ultrasound devices designed to scare gnawing animals and predators. They function on the principles of ultrasound pressing. In other words, they impact mind of animals with acoustic oscillations of high frequency. The generator acts according to the law of chance, changing frequency of a signal. That is the so-called effect of bionoise. On gnawing animals, every second descends a squall of new frequencies, which cause sometimes violent fury or grave indifference, sometimes unbearable pain or exuberant high spirits. Barium and strontium, you know also that when a rocket takes off or any anything that has any nuclear signature, it has barium and strontium left in its signature too. Odd. I wish I understood all of this. I see it and I remember it, but I don't really understand the significance of it sometimes. But or maybe somebody out there, like I said, that's way smarter than I am, will be able to put it together and go, hey man, we're figuring it out. Let's see what this is. In the Crimea in the 80s were carried out research works on the impact of super high frequency radiations on different groups of animals as well as human material. Keep in mind, this is from Russia, so they're not under the same exact ethical conundrum that you would be in the United States. I think, and sometimes the words, I think the sentence kind of makes me read it a little funny, but here we go. Similar research works were held before the breakdown of the Soviet Union by the specialists from the military unit in Moscow. In 1961, in Russia's the practitioner J.B. Shan conducted researches in the area of controlling of electromagnetic fields, resulted with an experimental aggregate of bio-SHF connection. That's bio super high frequency connection, consisting of radio transmitter and receiver. To the wave oscillation technologies of impacting a human is paid paramount attention. The director of the Institute of Machine Science of the Academy of Sciences of the Russian Federation, blah, 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 is head of the project on studying of the impact of mechanical oscillations of different frequencies on the organism of a human being. The methodology of deep zombieing of personality has been elaborated by the candidate of technical sciences in 1983. The director of the Institute for Psychotronics in 1993 named some organizations which were engaged in the special projects on injuring human mentality and organism with technical means on their own. 1993, 1983. Man, imagine how far this has come and is. Imagine where they're at today. I mean, 1993, I was graduating high school. Wow. Imagine what we're doing today. And now this is Russia, so we were probably right there hand in hand with them. The International Institute for Human Reserve Abilities as well is engaged in the program of controlling of human material by means of technical devices. Mind control by technical devices. Mind control by technical devices. That's what this whole thing is. How bad can we destroy a human being with sound? How bad can we look? 1992. And I know this article here is absolutely no older than Putin because his name's the one that's on it. On the 31st of July 2001, blank was published a draft law on the supplement of the paragraph 7 of point 1. I don't know about all that. Electromagnetic waves, wavelength from 1 meter to 10 centimeters, frequency from 300 megahertz to 3 gigahertz. Centimeter. Oh, I might could use this. I might need to hang on. You know what? I'm going to print this in a minute. I think I want to. I'm not going to bother y'all with the noise. I'll wait till I shut this off. But I'm definitely going to print this so that I have it on paper, because my computer's doing actually some kind of weird stuff during this. For those of y'all that came in late, I'll go back over the top of this one time real quick. This is the 2 draft law for the Federal Law of Russian Federation. Article 221, the appliance of forbidden for circulation, electromagnetic, infrasound, ultrasound, and other kinds of radiators intent to cause harm. And yes, they do cause harm. That's what I just spent the whole, however long I've been doing this. I just about can't talk anymore. Oh, that's probably because I've been ranting about this for an hour. I did not realize that, everybody. Oh, wow, it is about 50 minutes. So we've got that, and I hope I gave y'all enough information on how to find it. Look, this website right here, this works very well at DLive, so I will do the same thing here. That website right there, when you can find the English translation for what you're looking for, they're committed to inform the health problems caused by electromagnetic radiation And I had found some pretty interesting stuff here, so that's a good place to check against. And once again, just to make sure, I checked that document I've been going against. I did a search on Russian Federation law, and when I got to Article 221, stealing or possessing of nuclear materials or radioactive substances. So, hey Ryan, man, much love from Mississippi to all of y'all. Stealing or possession of nuclear materials or radioactive substances falls right in line. They consider the ultra high frequencies and super high frequencies to be a radioactive substance. So that's where we're going to call that off. I'm going to try to save enough of my voice so that later on tonight I might can do a DLive stream. I may just stream this again over on DLive and bring it up. I may harp on this for a little while because I know some people who are dealing with some of these issues, and for the targeting that we go through, it's right here in our face. I don't know if this was easy to find or not, because it popped up in the middle of a whole different type of search I was doing, and I grabbed it, and as soon as I get through here with y'all, I'm going to click print. I can't click print because my camera's hooked to the printer and the microphone. It would sound horrible to y'all if I did that. So look, I appreciate y'all coming by and hanging out and putting up with me. I'm really trying to put out some information to people that that I think is very, very important that they can use. So I want to tell y'all I love y'all very much. I'm going to say a short little prayer and we're going to get out of here. Father, we thank you for this time to come together. I thank you that you've allowed me to be able to get this across, and I thank you for putting it in my face. Father, I just ask you to continue to be with everybody, guide them, direct them, keep them safe tonight, bring them all back so we can hang out later. And I thank you for all these things in Jesus' name. Amen. Everybody have a great night. And I hope you all find the information, the links. I've tried to post it and get it where you can all get to it. I'll see you all at Mike's later. And if I don't catch you at Mike's, I will maybe catch you at Fallout Shelter DLive. Usually 9:30 to 10:30, depending on when Mike Morales goes off. So you all have a great time until then, and I will see you later. Much love, everybody.